sounds of mice furiously changing between computers.
Yes.
I don't even know what I said that caused everybody to be like,
Or apparently they tuned into, damn if he doesn't show up from me. And that was all. And I'm going to pour myself my first cuppa of the evening. That's going to be glorious.
What was that noise?
What noise?
Sounds like
noise?
someone's USB going in and out.
Oh,
Yes,
that's...
totally. No, not at all. Not a chance.
Okay.
That would be EE's KVM switch. Glorious piece of technology, just really poorly implemented.
Yeah. It attaches to different computers at different speeds. Like, it really quickly attaches to my new PC. But my old PC, you have to sit there for like a minute and be like, yep. Cool. And we are in. I'm going to switch you to a new map. Bam.
oh yeah, I should finish.
Oh my
training.
gosh.
I'm probably now bathed in green.
I definitely am.
I'm surprisingly not. Nor is Anna. I mean, Anna's got a lot of green behind her, but it seems that Anna and I are possibly the only two here with decent lighting.
Jeez.
Seriously, come on now, sit down.
Muffins is just
Have a
full
really
of
bright screen.
today.
Whoa there, ye. Put on some weight, mate. Were you at the mince pies?
What? I can't even see the video right now because I'm watching the intro. I have no idea what's going on.
And yes, everyone in my chat, Tulips is here. He totally is. He's just vanished.
No.
Yeah, he's here, but he's not. He's Schrödinger's Tulips. Schrödinger's, pardon the mispronunciation. Hello, Siri. What's wrong, sweetheart? You want to come out? Like, I've been in prison all day.
Until you check on it.
Okay, I need to...
So if we check on Tulips, he will suddenly either be alive or dead.
Yeah.
If we don't check,
He's
in
both.
In state.
Yes, pretty much. He's both alive and dead at exactly the same time. It's fantastic.
So no one asks where Tulips is, or you may kill him.
Yeah.
Someone said the donation site is undergoing scheduled maintenance.
The donation site? Really?
Yeah.
That is rather unfortunate.
What is it? Tiny.cc?
tiny.cc /Role4It doctors.
Yep, they're down.
Did they say how long they're down for?
We'll be back shortly. I mean, yeah.
I'm sorry, guys. I brought my curse with me.
Anna, what have you done?
I don't
The
know.
curse of Comcast.
I don't know what. I don't know what internet god or goddess I have offended, but I am truly sorry.
All of them. You failed to show the proper respect to your ancestors.
My ancestors didn't have internet.
And that's why they expect you to properly appreciate it, but you've just gone along and taken it for granted for too long. Now it's been taken away. This is the beginning.
Tiltify will be undergoing maintenance at 11 a.m. PST. It's exactly when we start.
Oh, jeez.
Whose job is it to make sure that all of this stuff is working? Hashtag blame EE. And I just tweeted that we could stop blaming you as well. I literally just tweeted, and I was like, no, we have to start.
Stop blaming. Yeah, there we go. That is also going to be the tweet that appears on my overlay, by the way, because it's got the hashtag in it. Thank you for that.
I don't even know what happened last time.
Well, at least it's fixed.
There we go. Ah, good old EE.
Wow. The maintenance will last for no longer than an hour, they say. I was gonna say if they were gonna be down all session, we'd just be like, screw it. It's the support the creator session, but they'll be back, so we're okay.
The only support I need is more tea. If that can't
So
be
you-
offered, then the support is not
Send them
required.
to- I'm now imagining like anti-flood sandbags filled with tea bags.
Wow.
I'm gonna go make myself a hot cider.
Okay.
I probably won't put spiced rum in it.
Oh, probably, not certainly. Yeah.
Maybe.
It's just pure rum.
But yes, as I kept you in suspense for this long and you didn't ask again, I'm going to reward you with the correct answer now. I actually do like your new haircut, Tulips.
Oh, well, thank you. Thank you.
You're very welcome.
It was just getting long for the sake of long. It needed to be shortened a bit.
Yeah. You didn't quite do a me, though.
Mm, mm.
Hair down to the middle of her back. Nah, all of it gone now.
Just took it all
There
off.
was genuinely this sort of like weight in my chest when that first razor blade, the point of no return happened, and there was just this sort of sinking feeling. It's like I can't turn back now. My course is set.
Okay,
I
you
did
ready?
that one time before, and my mom
Yep.
would be back in the house. she did, man. I was like outside for 4
I had
hours
to-
before she let me back in.
I had an undercut once, like at school, because we were in sixth form, and one of my mates, he was really vain and he had his clippers on him all the time. And my hair, again, in school, was super long. Like, I haven't had short hair, except for like 2 instances, for like at least 15 years. And I went and he was like, yeah, we'll just cut your hair. I was like, yeah, sure. Have you got a bandana? Because, you're going to give me an undercut. I'm not going to let you do it. Unless
Okay.
you got a bandana, I'm going to put it on.
Ready to go live?
Yep.
Yeah, sure.
Good to go.
Okay.
Anna's not
3.
here, though.
Right.
Hello, I'm Intralism, and welcome back to Role4It without an Anna. She will be back very shortly. She's
Blame
just
EE,
gone.
hashtag blame EE on Twitter right now.
That one's not my fault. That one is not my fault. Everything else, maybe.
It is your fault. You decided to go live without Anna. She even said she was going to be right back, and you were like, yeah, we'll go now.
Excuse. She's getting a drink. But yeah, welcome back to Role4It. Sorry about I went around last week. And we are now back, and we have an Anna, so it's even better.
Hooray.
We'll be, of course, playing Dungeons and Dragons, raising money for charity. I do want to just say thank you so much to everyone for last year, because we've only been going since like October last year, and I think we raised just shy of $10,000 for charity last year. Yep.
That's awesome.
So thank you to everyone. I mean, even if you didn't donate, thank you for just being able to spread it and just make the community great. That's how you're supporting us.
We
to do
only
that.
really raised about 1,500. The rest of it was all donated so that Bri would sing more songs.
It's all those sheets of paper and
That's
pens.
true facts. True facts.
Of quills, obviously. Yes. So, very briefly before we dive into the game, because we are running slightly late. That said, not later than usual, knowing us. What have you been up to over the Christmas holidays? Anna.
Not having internet. Sorry, I'm a little focused
Tell
on
you this,
that right
the
now.
Frame rate is now about 2 FPS.
What's
Oh,
that?
yeah.
Oh, my frame rate dropped out. Yay!
It's back-ish.
Yes.
As long as audio sticks, then that's probably all we can help for. That's the main thing that's going on for me right now.
Mm.
Yeah.
My internet is dying. and we don't know what's wrong with it, and it's
Call the doctor.
killing my week and my mood, and I have my cranky pants on.
That one's not. You can't blame me for that one.
No,
All right.
no.
You're
not to be blamed for that one.
Like her frame rate goes terrible at any point tonight.
Sorry.
Blame Comcast. Go tweet at them. Tell them off. Melthas, what have you been up to? Havoc.
Actually, not much has changed from my regular schedule, other than, I took a couple of days where I was just like, I've got a backlog. I'm not recording today. I'm going to be lazy all day. Whole days of laziness. That was good. That was a nice change. I know. This is rare. Genuinely, for anyone who doesn't do YouTube, that is honestly really rare. It is an uncommon thing to be in a position where you can genuinely say, yeah, I flat out don't need to record today. I'm taking the day off. Screw you. Good times.
Ryan.
Not much. I mean, I spent the holidays with family, and it was good.
Good times with family?
Straight and simple. Yeah. Oh, yeah. Definitely.
Yeah. Because sometimes, as much as you love having them around, I certainly love having my family around. It can be stressful. I feel like I need a holiday after they leave to recover from having them here.
I genuinely enjoy being around my family.
Oh, that's awesome.
Yeah, so.
What about you, Brian?
Oh, well, I had a wonderful holiday, and then I started getting a little bit of a scratchy throat and decided I was going to push past. I was going to continue streaming and all that. Turned into a head cold. Probably should have stopped early.
I feel slightly responsible.
Well, no, very much thank you for that. But no, it's...
Which is less responsible than usual.
I don't know. Like, everything's fine currently. Obviously, I'm making a recovery, so to speak. Oh, and I also hit was a milestone, very big milestone for me. 5,000 subs on YouTube. Yeah.
Congrats.
Yeah, feel pretty good about that.
Well done, mate.
Well done.
But that's about the extent of my.
I actually hit 70k over the Christmas period, which was very nice. Yeah, I wasn't aware of it until people started commenting, but unfortunately I felt really bad because I hadn't done anything for it as a result. I was like, that kind of snuck up on me a little bit. But it was very nice. That was basically my Christmas present from YouTube.
No. Right. Okay. So, just a reminder, we are raising money for charity for Doctors Without Borders. Problem is, currently their website, the website they use to raise money through that we're using, is down for maintenance. It will be, I believe, in an hour. So, if the mods could check every few minutes, just refresh the page and let people know when it's back up. Hopefully, we will be able to raise some money for charity today. But let's at least have some fun D&D. Of course, Doctors Without Borders, we're raising money for charity for. They are a great organization. They basically go out and do loads of healthcare for people who just can't really get access to healthcare, people who are in really deprived areas, areas with natural disasters, conflicts, etc. going on, like operating trauma surgeries in Syria, getting rid of certain diseases that are holding out in small villages out the way in Africa, that sort of stuff. They're a really good organization, and they give so many free consultations to people who otherwise wouldn't get them all around the world every year. So brilliant.
It's especially poignant for us in the UK because, a lot of people in the UK will come, and Canada, from what I understand, and a few other places obviously as well. The idea of free consultations wouldn't even register on our radar, but there are lots of places where either you have to pay an awful lot just to be seen before any diagnosis or treatment begins, or flat out you just can't because there's not a doctor anywhere near where you live. They offer an amazing life-saving service even just with that.
Yeah, and their administration costs, I think, was less than 2% of all donations go to admin costs. So they are a really efficient organization for such a large organization as well. So thoroughly happy to support them. But anyway, let's dive right back in. So we did have a session last time, which was relatively short because I had to run away, unfortunately. But we did just have a big battle with a load of hellhounds that were chasing you down.
Which we never got XP for.
Yeah, I was about to say, we never got any XP for that.
I'll have to write down the XP afterwards. To be fair, it won't buff your level because you're still a little way away from level 6. But yeah, I'll have to give you that afterwards.
Level 6?
5.
5. Oh.
I think they're quite far away from level 6, my friend. Unless you want to give us a little buff for Christmas. I don't know.
Merry Christmas.
It is my birthday on Sunday.
My
There we go.
Little,
So, if we want that little XP bonus at 300% of our donation goal for today.
Yeah. That'll. I would be happy with 3% today if the site's not working.
Good point. You've infected the internet with your terrible internet. But what we did have last week was the squad came back over from a giant cave, which they just looted. They then noticed that the hellhounds had kind of closed in on the wagons, and the wagons had taken a time to try and refit a couple of broken wheels here and there and basically decamp while you popped over. Battle ensued. Tulip stayed back, helped out, singing a little bit since unfortunately I was not here. And Rhaegar showed himself and started beating the crap out of hellhounds quite effectively. So we're going to start off from there. You're all now joined up with the caravan, and Rhaegar has just appeared, a pretty sturdy, strong, very strong-looking dwarf in full-on chainmail, I believe, with like a big hammer. So, let the games begin. And I believe the carts are still on fire.
Yeah. He was presumably one of the wounded.
Yes, he was one of the wounded.
Okay, I just figured we should clarify that he didn't just come running up out of nowhere.
I dug my way up. Yeah.
It would have been relevant, but unfortunately, Tulips was away last week. Tulips, you will have seen Rhaegar when you did the medical stuff, and you popped in to have a look around the injured. You'll have seen a dwarf very close to death, like verging on the going over to the other side. Basically, he was consistently just bleeding out effectively, and he was on the edge, and he just was holding on to life. Effectively, he was consistently making, for intents purposes of technical details, he was constantly making those save rolls. And for some reason, he is now startlingly alive.
Okay. Very good then.
Right. It's been a little while, so there we go. We've got
the burning carts.
Oh,
burn carts, burn.
We're back. We're back to sounds cutting out, unfortunately now. So it was just this intermittent, weird rustling sound. But
yeah,
it has been quite a while now since the last time we played. So I'm a little bit uncertain of where things were, except for the fact that Malphas is in good health. So, being that he isn't particularly wounded or anything like that and doesn't have any immediate pressing concerns, could you remind me if any of the party were particularly wounded?
I think generally there are a lot of civilians, a few injured, but they're mostly tending to each other right now. A couple of people helping out. You did see there were a couple of people who were helping out, sort of nursing the injured before. Mostly they're okay. Most of the people who got attacked by hellhounds died or got away because the hellhounds pretty much hit civilians for death or nothing. Right. There were a couple of issues there were 3 carts. One of the carts is pretty on fire right now, and the back cart actually rammed into the front cart, and one of the horses broke a leg. Yeah. And the cart at the front actually started pegging it off when the horses got a bit spooked by a hellhound that was coming up at them. However, Master Illyria of the caravan, who was the merchant in charge, jumped onto the back and managed to just about calm the horses down.
Okay. How wild is the fire? How big is the fire at the moment on the cart?
The back cart, it's pretty strong. The front cart got a little bit of fire, but it's mostly out. But the back cart is, well, all the fabric on sort of the canvas part of the cart is gone, and the wood is starting to catch at the back. It's pretty bad.
What's the weather like at the moment?
The weather it's nighttime. It's fairly overcast. Other than that, no wind. Pretty still.
Well, calling to Bree across the crackling of the burning cart, Malphas will shout out, "Have you got any spells that can help with this fire?"
I cast Prestidigitation to get as much water out of it as I can.
Okay.
That
You
is
get the water out of
all
it.
I can do. And she'll say, "Aren't tieflings fire resistant? Get some of the cargo off."
How big is the fire? Are we talking in like meters? I'm
Yeah,
sorry
I
about
mean,
the
if
squeaking
the whole
at the
cart
moment.
is on fire, then that's not a good.
All the fabric on the cart is on fire or gone. And the back of the cart, say the back third of the wood is starting to catch.
And because I'm actually looking for dimensions of this fire, because
Okay,
I've
so
got
we're talking
abilities
about
that care about
largest
that.
cart, a flat bed with slightly raised sides, and a tarpaulin over the top. So we're talking probably about 1/2 meter deep by about 1.5, 2 meters wide, probably 2 meters wide. So we're talking about 1 square meter.
One
maybe a
square
little bit.
meter.
That'd be 9 square feet for Americans. Or a square yard. That would have been simpler.
Thaumaturgy can cause an effect on flames. You can cause flames to appear for a short time smaller. Is that right? Effectively
You can
diminishing them.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But I don't think that's big fires. I think that applies to campfire or smaller.
Ah, okay, right.
I'd say that this
Well,
is getting a little bit of campfire.
What
now.
I was wondering if Melfast could do is kind of use 2 of his cantrips in synergy, because he's got control flame, which is effectively for 5-foot fires, and thaumaturgy. Is there some way that he could use these in concert to weaken the fire and then use control flame to try and snuff it out?
Okay. Sure. Okay. So, using control flame and thaumaturgy, I think I'd allow you to try and dampen the fire a little bit, which would sort of retard its flammability, but it would still continue to burn. Effectively, you'd be able to try and keep it in check a little bit.
But
Okay.
what about combined with the little bit of water that I can get out of Prestidigitation?
Prestidigitation
If we
doesn't
work
do very
together. Yeah, but you're saying his thing doesn't do that much. So
do a little bit more, but you just about be able to keep the flames in check. Prestidigitation is
Okay,
not great
so
science.
we'll say then that for the sake of moving things along, that Malphas, seeing that there's no other immediate option, there's still things going there. He just kind of focuses his attention, starts kind of intoning, using because I'm fairly certain that they are actually somatic as well as verbal. So he's just focusing right now on trying to control the fire and stop it from getting larger. He's effectively trying to tame it, but he can't put it out. So he's stopping it from getting worse.
Yeah, so some of the civilians start coming over and they start helping, trying to put it out. And they're just about managing to keep it at bay. And then there's a sound which is a sort of a sharp crack. And one of them sort of reels away, burns down one of their arms.
Oof. Malphas is busy.
Okay.
I
Chips,
said
do you have
what
your
I
mic
was
on?
trying to do. It is literally the best
He
thing.
doesn't
that
have his mic on. That's what it is.
So,
This is mic off.
I was thinking,
now.
this awkward silence is uncommon. At least Tulips is always loud and talking.
It's
Yeah.
is it working now?
Yes.
Right. I turned it off when I left, and I never turned it back on when I came back. Anyway.
You've been quiet this whole time.
Yeah. Well, one might think. But no, I was trying to figure out what I was gonna do in this circumstance. I mean, everybody else seems to be doing something. I don't really have much at all, unless of course there's some reason I should start singing about the flames. Maybe I should inspire people to work faster, harder, that they're making a difference.
Okay.
something.
I mean,
Possibly encourage them to, manage to get through the fire and the flames.
Yes, absolutely.
so bad.
Is it raining? Can I set fire to it? Sorry.
It's not raining, I'm afraid.
No, okay.
I'll be right back. Siri is being really aggressive with her sisters. Sorry about this.
Okay.
Malthus is very deeply engrossed in his spell right now, just trying to keep the flames from expanding. Bree's helping out a little bit with a little bit of water every now and again.
Oh, that was embarrassing. Okay, good.
Directing the civilians
Being
to
naughty,
throw
aren't you?
dirt if they don't have water,
You're being a naughty girl.
tossing dirt on top of it all.
At which point,
Flames out.
there's now a series of loud bangs then, as some more things just break apart in the cart and pop, and people start running over and just throwing clods of earth and stones almost at it.
Apparently, the donation site is back up.
Excellent. In which case, if you want to donate, you may do so. CC tiny.cc / Role4It doctors.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, eventually the cart gets put out. However, most of the back half of the cart is destroyed. The wood is still vaguely there, but a lot of the slats that held it together and some of the bracing material is gone. And one of the wheels is not particularly sturdy at this stage.
But all the fires are out.
All the fires are out.
Yay.
Hooray!
Yay.
I'm good for this. Can we sleep now? Sleep now in the fire.
Well, let's start gathering the civilians back together around the carts and
Okay.
taking stock of all damage, including on people.
Okay, so
Mending
you
what I can.
driven around for a few minutes. There's a lot of people who are a little bit traumatized by the attack. This attack was a lot more vicious than the last one. And you notice that there are a number of dead people lying around. Some of them singed, some of them with some pretty horrific bite marks. And all in all, there's not a lot of injured people. I think in total there's probably 2 injured people. Someone who was very badly injured by a hellhound's bite attack, and someone who was burned during the putting the cart out.
That's unfortunate. I will tend to the wounded.
Okay.
Do I have to make any rolls for that, or I'm just gonna kind of like walk through like Jesus?
Yeah, if you want to make like a couple of medicine rolls.
Okay. Let's see. What is my medicine right now? My medicine is. Do I get? Yeah, I get base stat values doubled, so that is wisdom 4, 6, 8. Okay, very good. Yeah, 25.
Okay, so 25, you managed to just sort of bind up their wounds. And the one with the particularly bad bite marks, you just sort of pack the wounds with a little bit of herbs here and there and just sort of wrap it up as best you can. The one with the burns, you quickly pour some water over and then sort of bind those wounds up. And then you look around and you're sort of like, well, everyone else is fine. And the dead people, you just quickly assess as just beyond it. They are completely and utterly very dead for the dead ones. There's no one there who remotely be alive at this stage, I'm afraid. And at that stage, Master Illyria comes back, having calmed the horses down up front, and approaches you guys. How's it looking?
Could be better. Could be worse.
Oh, well, thank you. And you, my dwarfish friend.
Yes.
At this point, Malphas just kind of
Yes, I am a dwarf.
looks down and across to the dwarf, and then just looks away.
No, it's actually very dwarfish. I'd find, like you don't have to use a whole bunch of words. You got your point across. It's fun.
Yeah. I'm not sure there was a question in there, but yeah, yes, I am a dwarf.
Thank you. You came at just the right time to save us.
Anytime. Yeah. Always looking to do the good thing. Fight the good fight, as they would say.
Welcome
thank you.
back
I'm
to
glad
the
to hear
land
it.
of the living.
Yes.
I like it.
Okay, well, we're gonna have to make a move on. I just hope they don't catch us again. mean, if you guys want to rest up in one of the last remaining 2 carts, probably gonna have to do this.
The other carts are irreparable, even with mending as the pieces.
The back cart, unfortunately, you can't really mend that last wheel. It's iffy as it is. You could kind of get it going on 3 wheels, but it would be slow going. But also, one of the horses has a broken leg now.
No. Can I mend it?
I was gonna say, we have a healer.
I could mend it. Possibly.
Veterinary healing roll.
Well, if you want to have a look at the horse, by all means.
I could do an insight, probably, and follow it up with a medicinal. I don't know.
Oh, it's quite obvious that the horse has a broken leg.
Ooh,
It's kind of holding off the ground right now.
While that's going on, Melfast goes over towards where the hellhounds were. From what I recall of your description of the way they die, they more or less just immolate.
Yes. Yeah.
Is there anything left? Ash or anything like that?
You look around and you manage to find that there is what looks to be a handful of ash and singed fur. Not very much for each hellhound.
Okay.
But you do manage to find 3 small piles, pretty obvious because they burn everything around them when they die, just in the center of a little bit of ash and a little bit of singed, burnt, matted black fur.
Okay. Well, given that, I imagine it wouldn't be too hard for Melfast to find some spare fabric, even if it's a case of just cutting away some of the shirt of someone who's died and isn't going to need it anymore. And he's just going to kind of scoop up the ash and the fur. Just not all of it, but he's going to gather some of it.
Okay. So you gather up some of the ash and the fur, and you put that in a pouch.
Yep.
Tulips, is that a medicine roll? What's that in total?
That is a 26 in total.
Oh my
26.
good lord.
So you go up to the horse and you assess that it's broken, probably its tibia and its fibula along sort of the bottom of its legs. It's gone clean through both bones by the look of it. But you manage to splint it up and wrap it with some fabric nice and tight. And you can assess that while this horse isn't going to be able to pull any carts anytime soon, it's not going to be able to put a lot of weight on that leg, it can probably limp around until it's healed. And it probably, due to your ministrations, your quick diligence, it probably will heal fine.
Saved a horse with a broken leg.
Yeah, walking back, Malphite is just going to comment. I don't know much about horses, but from what I understood, I thought they died when they broke a leg. So well done.
Yes, because we killed them.
Yeah, basically. There's nothing these hands can't do. And medicinal stuff.
Flashbacks to a certain inn. Right, so you do that and you tell Illyria that the horse should be fine, but it won't be able to pull anything for a while.
Sorry, distracted. Carry on without me.
Okay, well, while all that's going on, Malphite is taking a bit of an interest in the dwarf, and walks over to him, kind of, sort of nods, but he's clearly still a little bit awkward with how to gesture towards someone so much smaller than he is. It's like, how do you nod while looking down? It's an awkward thing. It's like burying a chin into your chest. But
like trying to get a second or a third chin. You know?
Yeah, exactly. So it says you handled yourself well. What's your name?
Well, I'm Rhaegar. Rhaegar Sunforged. At yourself?
Malphas. What are you doing? Are you going back to the mountain homes?
No, I'm actually just
not anymore.
Journeying the countryside, trying to spread the good word of Atos.
Oh. Malphas
For the
says...
sake of everyone in the group who doesn't know, and for the sake of people at home, Atos is the main good god.
Good God.
So, is a lawful good god, and is kind of the dualistic opposite of Azrael, who is the lawful evil god.
Azrael being the god of death. Is that right?
No, the god of death
wasn't.
is a second one entirely, who is neutral lawful.
Oh, neutral lawful? Okay.
Sorry, lawful neutral.
Right. Very well.
I like neutral. Neutral's really good for me.
Right.
Okay.
Well, with that, Malphas will press on. So you've been with this group for a while then?
Yeah. A
Through
couple weeks
the
back, I
through
joined
the
up,
early
so.
attacks, do you have any idea what's going on here?
I have no idea. I think I might have hit my head or something because I can't remember a lot. So
He says this. You can still see like matted blood, like in his chainmail, and you suspect that it was probably his. He's probably being a little bit demure when he's saying, "Oh, I probably just hit my head."
Right. Okay. Well, you did well. So, well, thank you for coming to the aid. I suppose everyone else. I mean, to be fair, they did what they could, but you were a real help in that fight.
Well, definitely, yeah. I mean, I was with them for a while, so I come to know a couple of them. So, yeah,
Can I ask a favor? Because I missed the last fight and everything, can I get like a quick, I don't know, 3-4 sentence recap of what happened?
Dogs on fire arrived, killed lots of people, then got smashed.
Rhaegar hit them with hammer, lots of light, boom.
fireworks.
Ooh.
Yeah, pretty much.
All right. So yes. Okay. So if I was part of that fight, if I saw that, then I would be very, very. Okay. No. I've got Rhaegar on a pedestal at the moment. Okay. Good. No. It's good.
Yeah, basically, like he was bringing down his hammer, and it was glowing, sort of bright, sort of white light,
yes,
and
of
then
course.
and they explode into like smoke.
Clearly holy in some way.
Like it.
Okay, well, given that, and seeing that, people have had time now to compose themselves at least as well as they're going to be able to following the battle, Malphas looks around, just checking that the people are ready to move, and then nods towards the caravan master.
Okay. Master Illyria looks at you and goes, "Okay, well, we'll get moving. If you want to rest, feel free to use the front 2 carts. I mean, I'd want you rested if we get another attack.
So
I'm sure you appreciate it."
if the third cart is not functional, we should take it apart for spare parts. For
I
the
mean,
other
if
carts.
you think it's worthwhile waiting a little bit longer to be able to do that, I mean, it would probably take us about 20 minutes to take off some of the best parts.
At the very least, take off the wheel, since
Okay.
one wheel is busted. If that happens to the other cart, it'll be
You,
a shame
over
to
there,
have to
can you help me with this? And he gathers a few people, and they start taking off the wheels. Hammer. Keeping the bits of metal in place while trying to ease off the wheels from the axle.
Were the horses killed? Or was only one wounded?
Don't believe any other horses were killed. I think it was just one wounded.
Okay.
So you should be okay without any horse meat for now, I'm afraid.
Exactly
A
what
few
I
minutes
was
go
thinking.
by, and they manage to get off a couple of the wheels. And they assess that it's probably not worth getting off the last 1 or 2 because one of them is completely compromised by fire damage. The other one's a little bit iffy. And they're sort of looking at it like, well, a couple of the spindles are broken. I think we're going to have to leave this one. So they head back to you and go, okay, quickly. We'll leave this back here and it'll block the road at least.
Sure.
They head back towards
Was
the
that-
front carts.
Yep.
Okay. They get in the front carts. They lash the 2 horses from the cart that got destroyed to the back of the rear cart.
Mhm.
And they let the 2 wounded actually sit up on the horses themselves.
What happened to all of the loot that we got? Because at this point, while everyone's getting ready to head off, Malphas will go over to Bree and say, "Do you think while we're traveling now, should we hitch up on one of the carts and have a look at what we got from that cave?"
That I inexplicably do not have written down. It's weird.
I know
'Cause I
there,
know I wrote it down.
there was at least one sack with a furry something inside that may or may not have impregnated Briar when he stuck his hand in there.
I found it. Sorry, so we're on the road again?
Just
Yeah.
can't wait to get on the road again.
All right. Because I need a long rest before I can identify, and then I need to talk to the wagon head dude and see if he's got a pearl as part of our payment, so that I can use the pearl to cast Identify on the stuff.
Okay, well, you're on the road now. You're able to, talk to the master if you want, and you're able to get a bit of a meditation in the one of the carts. You will require 4 hours of meditation and 4 hours of just sitting, resting, walking by the cart.
Contemplation.
That.
Contemplating the destruction of my enemies. All right, then I can cast Identify.
Okay,
I've got
so
Yeah,
pearl,
Melfast wouldn't be doing anything else really. Though I would say that he doesn't feel he needs a long rest. He would take a short rest, and just kind of hop up on the car, just relax for an hour or so. But then after that would get off again and would go back to walking a little ways ahead of the cart, just sort of on point, I guess.
Okay, so you'll just take a quick 1 hour break, and then you'll be back just scouting out, making sure that you don't run into anything too dangerous.
Yeah.
Okay. Rhaegar, Tulips, you got any plans? You want to sleep, or?
Well, I think I'm coming out of like a battle high adrenaline thing, so I'm gonna stay with the cart and just I'm alert.
Okay, cool.
I suppose what I'll do, because I just want to get better acquainted, I'll see whether or not I can talk to Rhaegar just a bit, and maybe
clearly saved his life.
and maybe help him find his memory.
Well, you help him find his memory.
Is that a euphemism?
Gabriella walks up to Illyria.
Why?
You got a reputation, Tulips.
I know. I have a bad reputation.
And Illyria is on the front
good.
cart, feeling a bit tired, sort of slumped to one side, but keeping an eye on the horses, and the wagon driver next to him is trying to make best of pace at the moment without leaving anyone behind, because there are now a few more people walking beside the cart than there used to be, because a lot of people were in the back cart, which is now no longer there. How can I help you, Bree?
Sorry, you're talking to me?
You just walked up to Illyria.
I did.
You said you wanted to ask about the Pearl of Power thing, or whatever it was. Pearl.
You had said previously that he probably had a gem of 100 gold piece value.
A Pearl of 100 gold piece value can be used for the Identify spell.
Yeah.
I said it's possible that he may have one if you wanted to ask about it.
You said he almost definitely had one. All right, I'm not going to worry about it then. Sorry, I can't identify this stuff right now.
Okay. In which case you can start your 4-hour meditation and rest.
Yeah.
Okay.
And I will contemplate the magic items. I'm pretty sure I rolled an Arcana on one thing.
Yeah, between you Arcana several of them, but after, say, a long rest, I'd let you start to have a few more Arcanas.
We Arcana, I believe it was the Dagger of Dark Opportunity that we picked up there. And then there was the bag, and we went to start doing that, and you said you realize this is taking a long time, and I said, oh, I didn't know that looking at things took a long time, and that's when we headed back and things attacked. So I don't think any Arcanas were rolled on the bag. Tulips just wanted to stick his hand into it.
Ah, okay.
He just wants to stick his hand in many places. Not all of them objects.
You're going to meditate. Rhaegar and Tulip's going to talk, and Melfast is going to be on point.
Yes.
Okay. Melfast, if you can roll me a perception check then.
Sure. That would be just flat up wisdom, which is flat up rubbish. Ha! Except today, where I am amazing. Ooh. Natural 20.
I like it.
I'm in tune after that combat. My eyes, my senses that are alive.
Okay, so having a sort of 1 hour sort of lie down on the back carts, just sort of legs hanging over the edge, idly daydreaming.
Think of all the rooftops that I've laid on with my legs dangling off the edge. Good times.
You then head back to the front and you start looking around. And you get there, you start to peek over the top of the mountain pass. At this point, you're pretty high up. The air is definitely a bit chill, and you sort of hold your clothes a little bit tighter around you, trying to maintain a little bit of warmth, because you being a tiefling, you're a little bit more susceptible than the cold. Just feel it a little bit deeper. But looking over the direction you just came from, you notice that you suddenly realize you haven't actually heard any howls in the distance that you have kind of been living with the last few days. You do notice, however, you catch what you think is a figure a long distance away, back down near where you took the fight a few hours earlier. You don't get much more than a glimpse as they sort of move, but you think that someone was looking at the scene, assessing the scene or something. Someone was down there. You barely saw that. It's a good few kilometers almost.
Okay. Right. Well,
I think tieflings should go check it out.
Given that, I'd probably, the first thing that Malthus would do is, having seen that, he'd more or less be stood there peering into the distance, just trying to see a little bit more. And the cart the sort of caravan would slowly start to catch up to him. Before moving on again, he'd flag down Master Illyria and move over and say, was there anyone else with the caravan? Anyone who might have slipped away, got lost in all the confusion?
Well, I suppose there was that lass and her big giant on the back cart. They popped ahead when you went and assessed the cave, and they haven't been back since.
Anyone that could have been behind us?
Not that I've seen.
Okay. Where's Tulips right now?
Those wolves.
Where's Tulips at the moment? Is he walking along with the cart, or is he having a snooze?
He's walking along Rhaegar, I believe, isn't he?
Okay.
Yeah, I'm walking. Well, Rhaegar was attentive, so I'm just kind of like with the cart. Yeah. With
Okay.
Rhaegar.
Well, I haven't noticed any howls for a while. Did any of you notice that? I mean, they've been pretty much consistent, constant, ever present since we met up with you. There hasn't been any sound of those wolves for a long time now. Good talking with you, Tulips.
Yeah, I don't know what to think about. Sorry, I'm thinking. You know how I get. Bards get into their own heads. Right. Did you divulge to me what you?
We're having a conversation right now. Anything that I have not said has not been said.
I'm in this in between zone, right? I'm trying to imagine what happened earlier and then what happens now. Okay. So I'm trying to figure it out. How I would respond to that. Is there anything that you think that needs investigating? Do you think we should probably just thank the fortunes and continue on, or do you think we?
Well, it could just be good fortune. It could be that was the last of them. But I think I saw someone back the way we came, back around where we thought. I mean, it's a long bloody way away. My eyes are good, but I'm pretty certain I saw someone. Nothing more than that, though.
If you saw someone.
Yeah, a person. I couldn't tell you what race they were, what gender. Again, a long way away, but I'm surprised I saw anything at all, but I am certain I saw it.
I wonder if the same people that were given chase and maybe they decided to break off. Seems unusual, I suppose.
Well, it could be nothing, or it could be something. Right now, there are no howls. There's nothing that seems to be chasing us, so that's at least something fortunate.
I'm almost wondering if we're almost clear to the trap, or perhaps there's an advantage that we should, take advantage of. Go back wherever you saw someone and see if whether or not we can make friends.
I'm not sure it would be the wisest thing to do, honestly. given the situation. But I wanted to let you know, it's a long way back. We would be just as long walking back there, maybe a little bit faster, but
Right.
they might not be there when we get there, or it could be something bad there. Or whilst we're gone, who knows what would happen to the caravan. I think we should probably stick here, but keep an eye out. Stay alert.
Yeah, I agree, actually. I'm just thinking in terms of if we're almost to a trap, then it would be wise to stick with the caravan. And if we're heading into a trap, that's the problem.
Anyway, I'll get back to the front of the cart now and continue keep a watch out, but do keep your eyes peeled, mate.
Yeah. EE, is it possible that if we're aware that something could happen, that we can get some sort of advantage to spot checks?
Sure. I mean, if you're specifically looking for something, then you can be like, I'm specifically looking for the dragon flying above my head. Then it would be a much lower threshold on a test.
Yeah, I'm just looking for or I'm just super wary of even the shadows right now. I'm like super on edge, as I guess you
just say you're looking for a figure.
Yeah.
Like, okay. So you're looking for a figure, particularly from behind the caravans, coming in that direction.
Yeah.
Okay.
Malphas, however, will be generally looking ahead, especially now that it's been mentioned that the lass with the guns and her was he a Goliath? Was he actually a Goliath?
He was actually human.
Oh,
from what you
okay.
can tell.
Okay. Well, her large human friend were ahead, so
he
Malphas
only
will
thought
be keeping...
he was a Goliath.
Yeah, Malphas will be keeping an eye out for them ahead, because generally he's going to be looking ahead rather than back more of the time.
Okay, well, if you want to specifically look for that, if you make a perception test, you are right on top of a mountain, so you've got a pretty good line of sight for the area down from the mountain on both sides. Tulips, if you could also make a perception check for behind.
Make a perception check now, yeah?
Just looking at that bag.
Do I get the advantage or no advantage?
No advantage, just low threshold.
Okay. Standard perception, which is... I'm looking for it real fast. Where is it?
It's smooth on the outside, but fluffy on the inside. Don't understand. What is this bag?
All right, it's +2. Okay. So.
Oh, you were so close. You were so close to a 20.
Oh, no.
Yeah, you don't spot anything out there, I'm afraid.
Okay, I'm going to roll mine. And I got a 2.
Wow.
But at least it wasn't a 1, so it's not a critical.
We're too jumpy.
And you're kind of like, I think I see something down there, and then you go, whoa, almost went over the edge. Smooth. You turn around, no one noticed, you're far enough away, you're like, oh.
I love how me peering into the distance turned into me almost walking over a cliff, even though I didn't roll a 1. I didn't say I was doing anything with my legs. I was using my eyes.
You could have fallen over the edge.
I used my eyes to look.
Fine. Right, Bree, you finish your 4 hours of resting, and for the 4 hours of just resting without
I don't honestly, if I'm not casting Identify, I don't actually need 4 hours of rest. I need an hour.
Oh, in which case, you're fine then. You just you're cool. Yeah, you get out the bag. Gonna roll an Arcana for that. Really have a look at the tasty fluffy bag. I believe it's a grey bag. I believe I said.
Hey, hang on. I need to summon my familiar.
Hey! No one said anything about it being tasty. No one said anything about tastiness.
Decide on what the cat was like. Was it a Siamese or was it actually just a giant fluffy cat?
Kitty.
He's a Himalayan.
Okay.
He's
so you're familiar.
Well, this is just a giant cat.
Well, yeah. Wondering if you were going for
familiar is one of the the ones that look like Siamese, but they're really fluffy.
It's so fluffy.
Which I believe is a Himalayan.
Is it what color?
Siamese. So he's got the
kind of like a sable.
Yeah.
Okay. Oh yeah.
The light tan with the black nose, and it's adorable.
So this light tan cat
but
just
fluffy
appears next to Bree. Very fluffy, very fluffy.
Very, very fluffy.
Malphas is far enough away This does not bother him. He is in a world.
That's why I almost fell off the edge, obviously.
Yeah. His cat senses started tingling.
22. Sorry.
22.
For those
It's
who
in
can't
exactly the
Yeah.
spot that you probably can't see very well. There you are.
See, for those who can't see, that was a 17 plus.
Yeah, 17
these
plus
five.
22.
Okay.
Or
So
plus 5
plus
is 22.
studying the bag, you have heard of these. They're not particularly like uncommon for magical items. They're effectively pocket dimensions that also have a enchantment to create certain types of animal when you pull them out.
Yay.
You've got a wizard's hat.
Which are friendly.
What's that?
They are friendly.
Yay.
Look, children, as I pull
can't
out the furry
store
thing from the
anything
bag.
in there, I can just pull like rabbits out of this, right? I'm gonna try and pull whatever it is out.
Sure. What color did I say the bag was?
You never said. We never asked.
You
I'm
never
pretty
said.
sure it's a gray bag.
Okay.
Furry bag of some kind, holding summoning. That's what I've written down. That's what
Okay.
he told us.
I will look that up. Do you want to have another look at another item while I just quickly look this up?
Those are the only items that we. That's the
What's
only
that?
item that we haven't already
The only
identified.
one. Okay.
The other one you flat out told us was a dagger of dark opportunity, because I think that I rolled like a 20 or something.
Yeah, you did.
All right, let me just look this up then.
That or you did. Somebody did. Ronick421 says, "Can anyone else feel the waves of excitement from Bree's reaction to that hat? It's not a hat, it's a bag. I'm wildly
You can put it
excited
inside
about
a hat. You should do that. You should put it inside a hat.
it. Uh-huh. I'm going to put it inside a merchant's hand. That's the plan. We're gonna try and sell this one.
Okay.
My
fine.
chat is wondering if it's a bag of squishy summoning.
Pretty much.
He can be with you always. Ugh, where is it? This is the problem with not telling you the names when you get them. So I have to find them a second time. And I can't remember exactly what it's called. Carpet, candle. Here we go. It's under bag. Bag of tricks. Bag of tricks, bag of tricks. Excellent. Yes, and it was a grey bag. So
Bag of fuzzy snacks.
you would like to pull something out, right?
Sure.
Roll a d8.
Oh.
Two.
You put your hand in, you find something warm and fuzzy, and you begin to pull, and out as it comes at the top of the bag, you see that you now have in your hand a giant rat. This rat is the size of a small hobbit.
Has she pulled this out?
Well, it's sort of created as it leaves the bag.
Oh, okay.
Lovely.
Long, thick tail,
Is it magical?
black fur. Pardon?
Is it magical? As in, with a detect magic?
Oh, it was created from magic, but it is not a magical animal, no. Although it does perceive you as a friend and begins to sniff your hand.
Lovely. I hate rats.
Yeah.
Does it go back into the bag?
The size of a small hobbit, I don't think you're going to be
Or
able to
do
fit it
I
back
get
in.
the sense that I can
You
pull
try
more?
and put the rat back in, and all that happens is you're trying to put a rat into a very small bag. It's a very large
Lovely.
rat.
Lovely. Great.
I'll
Go.
take it.
Go. Be friends with tulips then. Go.
So Tulips comes over, and the rat sniffs at Tulips. Obviously looking for food. Oh, do you have some food for it? Quickly eats the food out of your hand.
Great.
And starts following
Lovely.
you around for a little while.
Is there another fuzzy thing within the fuzzy bag?
Roll a d8.
All
I
right.
think I wanted what was in this bag.
Oh, goodness.
No, I'm not I'm not going to pull it out because the bag could have charges. I don't know. I'd rather sell it.
You think that, by the way, from your test, you think that the bag could be used multiple times. You're not sure how many multiple times, and it recharges every dawn.
Oh, all right. Let's
Oh,
keep
God.
going.
Oh god, this is going to be a menagerie.
It's Christmas.
Oh.
7.
You got a small dragon.
So you put your hand in the bag and you pull out, and as you start to pull out your hand from the top of the bag, you get a feeling that this is something a lot larger. And the bag sort of distends to be able to encompass what you suddenly realize as you pull out the top of the bag, is a giant wolf. It is in fact a direwolf standing roughly the size of a horse. Suddenly appears in the back of the cart where you've been sitting contemplating this bag. The horses suddenly get a little bit spooked. They're placated by their master, who is suddenly very confused about what the hell is going on. The
master is suddenly spooked.
Yeah, he passes his fear test. It's okay. And on the back of this cart, led by 2 horses who are very sheepishly trying to just not look at this direwolf, there is a giant direwolf just looking down at you, sniffing you. This big, wet nose in your hair.
Oh.
Your hair. Lovely.
Lovely. And I put truffles up on its back.
There is now a direwolf on a cart, and on top of the direwolf is a cat.
Onward with the journey, then.
The direwolf steps down from the cart.
Opposed, I'm just saying.
I'm quite done.
You're quite done.
Oh, yes. Oh, sure. I'll save the others for later.
Very well. I'm going to put my bookmark in that page.
That's a good plan.
The rat on the cat and the cat on the dire wolf.
So is a
isn't it?
direwolf big enough for an elf to ride? Like, could I put a saddle on it? And I know it's not going to stay that long, but I need to prepare for these things.
Direwolf is in the back of the player's handbook, I believe.
I think you can saddle it. Well, it depends on your size.
It is a large beast. That means a medium beast can ride it. Yes, you could ride a direwolf.
Wow.
All right. I'll remember that.
Okay. You are aware, however, that the magic from summoning from the bag that makes them treat you as a friend very faintly fades. It won't fade until they get hostile. They'll just get bored and wander off eventually.
I would too.
Yeah. But it will treat you as a friend for a little while after being drawn out of the bag. So this direwolf suddenly, amongst this convo of civilians who have been somewhat traumatized by hounds recently, they're very aware of it, but it does act really friendly. They give it a wide berth. You're kind of left alone with maybe 2 or 3 other people at the front of the caravan now. Tulips has a giant rat. Rhaegar is like, who the hell have I joined? Okay.
So I have a grey bag of tricks now.
It might be useful. So you head on down the mountain. Mm-hmm. A few days actually pass, and during that time, there is no sign of pursuit. No sound from wolves in the distance. You seem to have thrown them. If everyone can make perception checks.
Is that the whole group?
Yeah.
I rolled a 5.
Yeah, you don't see anything.
Oh no!
You see a giant direwolf. Like, what the hell is this thing?
Are
Where
you
did this come?
fracking kidding me?
Cheat hacks. Such cheat.
And I can't, like, that doesn't count because I hit the keys, but it wasn't on the right window. Didn't have focus.
I'll let it. I heard it.
No.
Never mind.
No.
Tulips rolled a
Per
20
my
anyway.
own
Don't worry, you
rules.
got 20. Massachusetts got 20. It's fine. Like, we've got some good people here. So, Tulips, you're still kind of looking behind, looking for this figure, and you do notice in the distance, very briefly, as you're sort of heading down the side of the mountain, you notice someone peek their head over an outcrop nearby, and as you notice them, they quickly retract their head. Someone has been watching you. You don't see them again. You just get this one very quick. You kind of notice it because you notice the motion. You wouldn't have even noticed it if they hadn't retracted their head. But you do notice that there was probably someone there watching you.
How far away?
Yeah, I'm gonna inform everybody and say
Probably,
exactly how far
we're
away.
talking at least a kilometer. I'm getting particularly close. And this is a kilometer as distance, just not as you would move, because you have to go sort of a winding path. So they're being cautious, but you definitely notice that there is someone who has been following you, and you especially have been looking out for this because Melth has informed you before. Bree, you got a natural 20 as well.
Apparently.
Melth, Tulips pointed this out to you. You sort of look in the same direction, and you manage to spot something. Either it's like a cape or something, as someone heads behind a boulder nearby 5 minutes later.
What do you think?
I think that our friend Melphus is fairly stealthy, and I can cast invisibility. I think someone needs to go and investigate this. And I think that I should cast invisibility on Melphus to better aid his stealthiness.
Okay.
And you should go and investigate.
Roughly how far do I suspect it's going to be of a walk or to get down there?
Because you're not going with the carts, you can maybe cut a little bit of distance off it by going up a little bit more slopey areas, etc. But it'll still be a few kilometers back. We're talking maybe 2-3 kilometers as you'd have to walk, and the difficult terrain taken into account.
Okay, and the invisibility spell, how long does that last?
Concentration or 1 hour.
Okay.
You'd be able to get that far in an hour.
Yeah, Melfast would be able to do that. Okay, well, he's willing to give that a shot.
Do we send you out alone, though? That's the question.
That is exactly what I was just about to bring up. I haven't had the best of luck when I've been on my own. But I'm willing to try it.
Worked out well for me.
Still.
Not really.
I just had a brilliant idea.
What time of day or night is it at the moment?
At the moment, it's sort of afternoon. The sun's just sort of beginning to become properly visible because the way you're coming down the slope of the mountain on the west side, you've been in kind of shadow until almost midday. So the sun's only been visible for a few hours so far.
Okay. All right. Well, I could try to make my way there, though the conditions are not ideal for a stealthy approach. Still, we could do that whilst you cast invisibility on someone else, and we could go as a group.
The other catch is the more of us suddenly go missing,
Indeed.
the more notice they might take.
I think it would be easy enough. At this sort of distance, I don't think they're going to be able to pick out too many people amongst the crowd. And it would be simplicity in and of itself for 3 of us to hitch a ride on one of the carts, and then 2 of us slip off stealthily. They might not notice anyone moving from that. I don't think it'll be a problem as getting down there, but the sun is rising. It's going to be increasingly difficult for me to be able to move without being seen down a path that's effectively just a path on a mountain.
All right, well, we can both go. I can cast invisibility on myself, and you can be you.
I have a question.
Endeavor to be me.
The question being, since we obviously get the hint, the idea that perhaps these people are following, we could hold up in this spot while the caravan moves forward. They continue to follow. We wait in ambush when they get there to that spot. That way we don't have to, worry about using spells then. We can just wait till we hear somebody getting closer and then spring an ambush.
It would be advantageous not to be moving.
Mm-hmm.
We could find a rocky outcrop that would give us a better opportunity to lay low.
Have them come to us as opposed to us go to them.
I mean, they've been following us for
idea.
days at this point. There's no reason to suspect that they wouldn't continue. And they've been roughly the same distance away the whole way.
It's an idea.
It's a good one.
I'm okay with this idea.
Let's do it.
We can also do basically a short rest while we wait for them and everything to make sure we get everything back.
I don't think anyone's used anything, but we could do.
Have
Have you got any?
spells?
How many spells?
Yeah, because I think you used a fair few to do Divine Smites in the last battle, so I'm not sure how many you got.
Shall be right back.
I used 2, I believe.
Because you might have one left?
Yeah, because I have 3 total. So
So we get one back, I think. Is that how that works? No?
No, only if you're a wizard. Because wizards can basically sort of concentrate their power for an hour.
I'm a wizard.
Yes, you are, Harry.
A hairy wizard. Wait. That's not how it went.
Okay. So, if you, Briar, that was your idea. So if you make a survival check.
Right. Okay. Bring up my sheet. This is my survival. Please be good. That's not bad. Come on, give me some good. Aw.
9. You do notice that there is a point up ahead where the road sort of twists pretty sharply and takes a pretty hard bend, at which point it passes a trickling stream that sort of sprays over the top, almost like a very small waterfall. And you suspect that some of the broken rocks around the area might be good to hide in. They'd shield you some view, and you could effectively, as the wagon goes past, just duck into there and try and hide amongst those rocks.
Okay. I will relay that information to everybody, and if they are in agreement, then I suppose we can set up shop, as it were.
I would like to find out what Melphus's survival role is before we agree upon that.
That's the other tiefling, not this one.
Only because I don't know if that's something that he's particularly good at. I'm not, so I'm not going to roll. But
Can Rhaegar survival?
no. No, I cannot.
Melphus, do you have a good survival roll?
I've got a completely average survival.
I had a +2.
So no modifier?
No. +2.
No, me neither. Sounds like a great plan. Let's
Oh
do it.
wait, no, actually it's a +3 roll because it's not a proficiency, so I get +1 to that being a bard of as hattery as I am.
So it's a 10 instead of a 9.
Yes, 9.
In which case, you're a little bit more sure the water will be okay. You just to make sure that they don't see you if they peer over the top while they're going around the upper portion of the track.
Wouldn't a good vantage point be better?
Unfortunately, you're going down the mountain and they're coming from above as well, so you don't have many good vantage points.
It's a
That's
good
the
point.
issue. The more issue you're going to have to be worried about is not being seen from above.
With that in mind, is this really the best plan then? Because it'll be very difficult for us to see them without them seeing us when they have the higher ground.
What's anybody's
I mean, I'm invisible, but
I was just
or I
wondering
will
what
be.
like listen or spot checks, perception checks. I got really
Perception.
Mine's all right. +2.
Yeah, that's what mine is +2. I'm just wondering if anybody had like a really high one, just in the off chance, if you can maybe get an advantage if they lay their ear to the road type of thing. I don't know if that works or not.
That doesn't work.
No.
No.
This
They'd have
being
to have
my
pretty
current survival
epically heavy footsteps for you to hear them coming up
have
the
to say,
mountain.
The orcs have doubled their pace. They've picked up our trail.
It's really good ears.
Yes.
Like
Alas,
they
our
work
elf
well
is a
with
little
Rolo.
bit less awesome than Lord of the Rings elves.
Yeah.
I don't know. I'm pretty awesome.
I don't know.
Give me a few more levels and
Can't wait. Actually, it's great to have a.
So you're comparing her to like Legolas, who's obviously like a level 19 or something. You
Yeah.
compare her to like the elves at Helm's Deep, who are obviously level 1s. They just die.
That's true. That's true.
But yeah, so
I
you're
am
planning
way
to-
cooler than the ones that died.
Yeah, you're alive.
Have to be.
Exactly.
Actually, you're warmer than the ones who died.
Wah, wah,
Wah, wah, wah. Okay, so we're going with this plan.
So anyway, it's a wonderful plan. Let's do it. Or not.
That is the question.
Malphast's lack of any particular survival skill means he's effectively going to defer to Tulips on this one, who at least has some.
I do have some. And it didn't really garner a lot of evidence in terms of expertise. But if you guys are willing to go with it, let's go with it. Let's go. Let's do it. Try it out.
All right, fine and fair enough. Let's do it.
Okay. So as the cart turns past this small stream that sprays over the top of this area, you quickly duck in amongst some of the broken rocks at the bottom. And I believe, Bree, you're making yourself invisible?
Yes.
Okay, in which case, if you could all make stealth checks, Bree, you'll be at advantage. Rhaegar, do you get disadvantage with your armor? I'm not sure if you do.
We're not all going.
Oh, you're not all going?
No.
We don't have to. And
I wouldn't even tell him of this plan.
Well,
he's a dwarf.
Now, if
Filthy
someone
little.
else invited him to the conversation, that's fine. But
I don't trust anything that
I'm
close to the
not-
ground.
Not the sneakiest.
As an aside, I was kind of counting on Rhaegar. I was, so we didn't tell him then.
Take control of
I
this
was-
situation, Tulips, and say, I told him.
although
I
I,
told him.
Tulips and Rhaegar have been hanging out a lot, so...
That's
Yeah, 'cause,
fine,
I
but
mean-
I still think that some of us should stay at the cart and some of us should go.
Yeah, but it's a terrible idea to split the group. It's like Scooby-Doo. I don't want to Scooby-Doo it. I want to make sure.
What
that-
is this?
Scooby-Doo.
What is this?
Always wins.
Of a
Scooby-Doo.
group of adventurers from down south, quite famous.
Okay.
And still alive,
Right.
wildly
true.
famous,
And still alive.
And a
lots
fantastic
of snacks.
band.
Where's the problem?
Polymorphed into a dog and it ended up being permanent. It was really awkward.
Well, aside from that,
Whilst
No,
this
we-
discussion is happening, Malphite just tries to find a good hiding spot.
An additional idea.
I rolled 18 plus my proficiency of 7, so 25.
Nice.
Okay.
Additional idea. Since one of us has the ability to also be invisible, one of us can go invisible and just stand in the middle of the road. Perfect down the road visibility, and they don't have perfect visibility on you. It's a thing. Could be a thing. Perhaps.
Malphite doesn't care. Malphite has found his perfect hiding spot. Malphite is in his perfect hiding spot. Malphite is happy.
if we all leave the wagon, there's no one guarding it, which defeats the purpose in us figuring out who it is that's following us.
although I wasn't included in the conversation, I have been overhearing, and
You are now.
well, I speak up and say I volunteer to stay with the cart.
Thank you.
Ooh.
At which point,
Okay.
this has been a loud conversation. Illyria has been sort of listening in nearby. He says, well, I mean, if we go slow and we turn around the next bend, we could be fairly close by. I mean, you'd have to scramble down a hill to us, but if we have any problems, we can just sound a horn or something.
Oh, just out of sight, just around the corner. Nice.
That's a good idea. Comes a voice that seems to just echo from amongst the rocks.
It's wonderful. Let's do it. Whatever.
And there is just a little bit confused, but he's like, he's almost used to this from you by now. He's seen you disappear into the night a number of times.
Oh, nice. Very nice.
You'll never find me.
Bree just, and then Illyria's like,
Invisible.
Oh.
Wow.
She doesn't just like that though. There's spell casting going on. I think Illyria would understand. It's like,
That is insane.
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 fine. Yeah, leaving Rhaegar and Tulips just alone
Standing in the
with,
middle of the road. Just
with
two
Illyria.
guys. 3 guys. Just,
Up to no good,
yeah,
making trouble with it.
indeed. So, Rhaegar is going back with the cart, is he? So I imagine he and
Yeah.
Master Illyria just kind of walk off back to the
Well,
cart.
I was saying that if Rhaegar wanted to go with you, then we could go slowly around the next bend, and if you needed to come for us, effectively just down a slope, you could almost just try not to tumble too hard.
I've given up. I'm already on my way.
Yeah, you're invisible. You're gone. Rhaegar, what do you think?
Well, there's been much disapproval of one of the members here, but I think I will stay with the cart.
Okay.
Okay.
I will. Yeah.
It's totally fine. I just feel more protected.
You want me to protect you?
I'm a bard, man. my prowess at battle is not very good.
Tulips comes on to all the guys.
If you want me to go with you, I can.
I can protect you.
Okay, well, yeah, that's true. That's true. You
And
have
you guys.
some very thrifty magic there, so.
Oh goodness.
This is a love bromance worthy of Chuck and Sloth. 100%.
Aw. Oh goodness.
No,
Okay,
I mean,
so the cart leaves, and I assume that Rhaegar and Tulip try their best to hide. They should probably roll for this.
Okay. Rhaegar, what armor are you wearing?
I have chainmail. Yes.
Is it chain mail?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, in which case, your stealth rolls with disadvantage.
Chain.
Which is why you should stay with the cart.
Well,
You can take chainmail off.
I
In which case you're not as protective.
sorry.
Blame Tulips. Tulips is the one that guilted him into staying.
Follow your instinct and stay with the cart.
Follow your heart.
The cards have gone.
these voices in my head. I don't know what to do.
Right.
Ooh,
Yes.
I have an idea.
Okay.
Or is the sun's out, right?
Yep.
Okay. He's like paladin holy words and stuff like that. Could he stand somewhere in the sight of the sun as the sun beams past him and he like disappears into the sun? Can he...
That I'm pretty sure that's not a thing.
Tulips, you need to stop eating whatever mushrooms you found along the side of the road
Look,
and
I'm
get
hoping-
behind a rock right now, or I swear to the dark gods, I will shoot you in the neck.
in the neck. Fortunately, I can heal that.
Oh wait, I'm sorry. We're being sneaky. I need to be sneaky too.
Yay!
I don't have a thing. I don't have a thing.
You're not sneaky enough to deserve a thing.
Oh,
Clearly.
I need a thing.
Spider Gwen is a famous drow hero.
This
Not
makes sense.
proud. Don't be rude.
Spiders? Drow.
No, she wasn't born with spiders.
She was bitten by a drow and inherited his power.
Exactly.
Okay, so can you make your stealth rolls?
Sure. What would you like me to roll?
We're so very
It was
sneaky.
stealth at disadvantage.
And how would I do that?
/R space 2d20.
Mm-hmm.
Is it
Ronick, I'm an elf.
KL?
Of course I'm against
One?
drow.
Is it KL1 straight after that, or is it space KL1?
No spaces.
I say. Okay, so /r space 2d20 KL1.
There was a disadvantage to that, right?
That's what.
That's
it is.
Oh, that's okay.
20.
Alright.
And you add your dexterity modifier to it as well. That's effective.
And if you've got proficiency in sneaking, which you probably don't,
A dwarf who's good at sneaking.
could happen. Some people
Alright.
struggle.
Yell at me if this is wrong.
It's wrong.
Ah, it's really wrong.
Disadvantage with a
Really
1.
wrong.
No.
But I rolled
You
a
really are
20
bright.
and a
and, like,
19.
standing out in the open.
And Malthus rolled a 20, didn't you?
No, just slightly lower than that. I rolled an 18, but it effectively became 25.
Listen,
Oh.
you guys can blame me. It's fine. You can blame me.
Hashtag blame tulips.
Well, I will say we are very much more protected, regardless of role.
Ah.
I'm protected by the rule of if they can't hit me, they can't do damage to me.
If you don't shoot him in the neck, I might have to stab him in the neck.
Tulips! Roll your
I'm gonna
bloody
start
dice.
wearing a neck guard, like a big
Tulips, dice, tulips.
dice. Dicing. No, wait. I have a modifier +3. I forgot to do that. But yeah, so 21. Oh no, it's there. +3 is there.
18.
18.
So 18 in total. So what did you get, Bree?
20 and a 19.
Was it nat 20 then?
Yes. Plus
Okay.
3.
So, as you head off into the broken rocks and the bottom of the waterfall, Rhaegar is suddenly realizes that the carts have started moving on, and he just decides to stay with you after sort of wanting to protect Tulips. After Tulips is like, "But I'm so dainty," and immediately turns around
wallflower.
and trips over, and with a loud sort of sound of metal clanging to the ground, he quickly gets up, looks a little bit sheepish, and continues hiding. Tulips goes and hides too. You manage to get in amongst some of the rocks and the overhang.
I am going to try and find a vantage point on where we were going to go and hide. When
you
I
want to
see that happen and him trudge off to where we were going to go,
Okay.
I'm going to go somewhere else with a good vantage point on that.
Okay. So there is a little bit of a crack in the rock down the front of this cliff, and it's a little bit further up, so you can sort of scooch your way a little bit up that crack, and it has a good vantage point of the waterfall.
Excellent. Perfect.
I simply picked out a place that these plebs would never have thought to hide in anyway.
Yeah.
As an aside, scooch is such a wonderful word.
Yeah, it really is. You wait there. About 55 minutes later, you hear very faintly the sound of someone sneaking down the track after the caravan. Carefully trying to hide, but to the trained eye, they're not particularly good at it. You notice a figure with hood up despite the nice sunlight. Big sort of overflowing robes, which are obviously a little bit tall.
In the time that passed while they were arriving, Malphas was basically, he hasn't, drawn an arrow, but he's basically got it. He's ready. He's got an arrow notch, just not drawn the bow. So
We are prepared.
If we can have a surprise round, that would be amazing.
Just being explicit.
So,
that he
sorry,
knows.
you were saying?
So this person carefully walks down.
You were describing them.
Rock. Overflowing robes have been obviously somewhat damaged from travel, so they're sort of discolored at the bottom. Some more tears and rips in them. The robes themselves look familiar to Malthas, and the shape of the person, you vaguely remember this person from a certain incident in a temple.
I recognize it.
You don't see their face. But you recognize the robes. You recognize the bulk of the person.
How certain am I?
You're about 95% certain.
How close is this person going to come to the ambush spot?
The path isn't particularly wide, and you're not particularly far off the path, so they'll probably come, if they don't notice you, within probably about 10 meters of most people. You're a little bit up the cliff face.
And how far away are they at this point that we're actually seeing them?
Probably about 60 meters.
Okay.
They come a little bit closer, 50 meters, carefully sort of looking over, following the carts, duck their head back in.
I am so darn sneaky.
And you notice behind them follows a familiar shape of a hellhound. However, one of its legs appears to be damaged and it is limping.
Okay.
The figure gets within 10 meters of you.
The moment it gets that close, Malphite shoots, aiming for its leg.
Wait.
Oh, okay. If you're going to react first.
I just need to see if what I want to do doesn't suck.
Okay.
Okay.
I would like to cast Hold Person.
Ooh.
Okay, so we can do that as part of a surprise round. So the shooting and hold person. I think now is probably a good time to take a break. We're 20 minutes ahead of our normal break time. However, I can make a little battle map during the break, and we can also get ready for what is going to be possibly, but I don't know if it will be, a combat, which tends to take a little while. So we're going to go to a break for about 10 minutes. We'll be back with you after that time. So if you want to go get a drink, pop to the toilet, order takeaway, now would be the time. And we'll catch you.
I don't think takeaway will get you in time for me, I'm afraid. They're pretty fast around here, but they're not that fast.
But you can order it in the break. You just have to get it afterwards.
They need to be mill fast.
And with that, we take you to the break. Dear God.